Today, we're unpacking a landmark new law that's set to completely reshape education for learners with disabilities in the Philippines. It's called Republic Act 116550. You might know it as the Inclusive Education Act. So let's dive right in and break down what this law actually does, how it's all going to work, and why it's such a massive game changer.
All right, so here's our roadmap for this explainer. First, we're going to look at the core goal, the why behind it all. Then we'll explore the new hubs being set up called Learning Resource Centers. After that, we'll meet the team of experts who will be providing support. Then we'll get into the nitty-gritty of the national plan. And finally, we'll see how all the different government agencies are teaming up to make this happen.
So let's kick things off with the big idea. What's the philosophy that's driving this entire law? Well, it all boils down to one powerful concept: inclusive education.
Now, pay close attention to the wording here because it's so important. This isn't just about putting a student with a disability into a regular classroom and calling it a day. The law is really specific. It talks about full and effective participation, presence, and achievement. It's a huge shift, you know? It's moving away from just giving access and moving towards creating a real sense of belonging where every single student can actually thrive. And this really gets to the heart of the mission. At the end of the day, the goal is to make sure that no learner is ever denied admission or a fair shot at a quality education just because of their disability. This law is the framework that's meant to make that a reality for everyone. Okay, so that's the big vision. But how do you take a big idea like that and make it work on the ground, in actual schools? Well, that brings us to the new heart of the support system that's going to be in every single school district. And here's a really smart part of the plan. They're not starting completely from scratch. The law actually says that all the existing SPED, or special education centers, are going to be converted. This is a super strategic move. It uses the infrastructure that's already there, but completely transforms its purpose to fit this new, more inclusive model. And this is what those centers are becoming: the new Inclusive Learning Resource Centers, or ILRCs for short. You can think of these as the new central hubs for all the support and services a learner might need. And there's going to be one in every city and municipality to serve the local community. So what is actually going to happen at these ILRCs? Well, they're going to be buzzing with activity. For starters, they're in charge of a child find system to proactively find kids who need support. Then they'll do assessments to figure out exactly what each student needs. They'll also lead the charge on creating those crucial individualized education plans. But it doesn't stop there. They'll also produce accessible learning materials and provide training for teachers and parents, basically connecting the entire community to a whole network of services.
Look, having new centers is one thing, but we all know it's the people that make the real difference. So now let's talk about the circle of support, the experts that the law is putting in place for every single learner.
The law is very clear that this is not a one-person job. Supporting learners with a wide range of needs requires a whole team of experts. So who exactly are the professionals that make up this system?
Any answer is right here: a multidisciplinary team. It's a bit of a mouthful, but the idea is simple. It means you have a group of different specialists all working together, looking at a student's needs from every angle: academically, medically, and developmentally.
And this table gives you a great snapshot of what that team looks like. It's not just the special needs teacher handling everything. They're leading the charge, for sure, but they're backed up by a whole crew. A speech-language pathologist for communication skills, an occupational therapist for life skills, and even a developmental pediatrician for medical assessments. It's a truly holistic team, and they're all focused on one thing: helping the students succeed.
Okay, so we've got the big idea, we've got the centers, and we've got the expert teams. But how on earth do you take a law like this and actually roll it out across an entire country? Well, let's take a look at the national plan. The key to making it all happen is this: a multi-year roadmap. This is so important because it means this isn't just a short-term project that's going to fizzle out. The law puts a formal guidance in place for all government agencies with clear targets and outcomes for at least 5 years. This whole thing is built for the long haul. And the roadmap itself is broken down into really logical steps. Step 1. Convert the SPED centers that are already there, starting in areas with the greatest need. Makes sense. Step 2. Build brand new ILRCs where there aren't any, so nobody gets left out. And step 3, and this is crucial, create permanent jobs for the staff so you can build a stable professional workforce that's in it for the long term. But here's the thing: a massive undertaking like this can't just rest on the shoulders of the Department of Education. To really work, it needs a synchronized, all-hands-on-deck effort from the entire government. And that's where the Interagency Coordinating Council comes into play. And this right here shows you how that coordinated effort works. Of course, the Department of Education is the lead agency, but look who else is at the table. You've got the Department of Health handling medical support, the Department of Public Works and Highways making sure buildings are physically accessible, and even agencies like the Department of Labor and Employment helping students transition from school into the workforce. It is a complete wraparound system designed to support a learner through their entire journey.
So, there you have it. The law has put this incredible framework in place: the centers, the expert teams, the national plan, and the full support of the government. It really sets the stage for profound change. And I guess the final question it leaves us with is, now that this structure exists, how can we as communities, as neighbors, as family members, get involved to help make sure every single learner doesn't just get by, but truly succeeds?